if you ask questions now, if I have more time, I'll answer them while we're hanging out.
Yeah,
so
we will.
It's totally fine.
All right, question number 2. This is from Sonia. What are the differences between the top 3% and in the industry and the rest?
Yeah, top 3%. Okay, I need to give this stat, and I think I gave this stat last time. In the salon industry in general, only, I think it's 7% of salons make a profit. Okay. Only 7%. 20% of salons break even, and the rest of them actually lose money to keep their salon open.
Dang, that's some high numbers.
Right. So only 7% make a profit. So if we're talking about the top 3%, okay, the top 3% are making a profit. First of all, that's what they're doing. The other thing about the top 3% is they know when to open multiple locations. They know when they should hire, when they should fire. They know how to advertise. Like, that's a very successful salon in that top piece. Like, I bumped into somebody yesterday. Justin and I were getting lunch with Bob, our producer, and we bumped into this guy. And I don't know if I have his card. I have his card on me. I think I'll pull it up. Because I think it's worth talking about. So I bump into this guy. I liked his jacket. He was wearing a jacket, and he had one of Mod Pizzas that's down the street. So he had a Mod logo on his jacket, and I was like, oh, I like your jacket. Where'd you get it? He's like, oh, it's a corporate logo. I'm like, oh, do you own the company? He's like, yeah, I own that, and I own Dos Coyotes and Jack's and Jamba Juice. He owns like
Wait, the 15, same guy owns all of that?
Well, he owns like 15 of these locations, not every single one, but he owns a whole bunch of them, kind of like a franchise.
Wow.
So anyway, I met this dude in line, but this is an example. In my mind, he's in that top 1 to 3% of business owners, because it's not common. Like, sometimes people would own one of those restaurants, and he owns 5 of one, 3 of another, 2 of another. So he owns a whole bunch of restaurants. What that says to me about that 3% of that business owner, and again, I know that's not salon related, but stay with me, is that what it says to me is he understands efficiencies of scale. Okay, so like if he has an accountant who helps him, that accountant helps him in all those businesses. If he's a supplier and he needs to hire people, well, maybe they don't work out at Dos Coyotes and they can move over to Mod Pizza instead, or maybe they go to Jack's, and like you start to have all these efficiencies. So what I would say about the top 3% of salons is they understand the power of scale, they understand the power of efficiencies that they can use to help scale up their company, and they probably have now mastered most of the core elements of business, and they're just trying to decide how big of an operation they want to run. So I think that's a big thing on the top 3%. I'll give you one more story. I'm looking at I'm trying to figure out the ski resort and this thing I want to do, and anyway, work on this big project. I called somebody who runs a similar resort, and I asked them. I said, hey, because I've never done that before. I was like, look, I'm really interested in this type of business. What would you tell me? And he goes, you have to get it to the right size before it's efficient. And I think this is really important for salons to hear. The top 3% of salons know how to get it to a size that it makes sense for them to run it. The reason why those other percent, I don't know what the math is, somebody have to do 7% plus 20%, so it's 27%, whatever that reverse math is, right? The 73%, I think is the number. The 73% of salons that are going backwards don't understand the level they need to get to be profitable.
Interesting.
So, like, for example, it's just 3 of them in a salon, and they're all struggling because they don't really have any efficiencies yet. So what we find is, this is a good number, is that the first level of efficiency is a $25,000 per month level of operation. As a salon, once you start hitting $25,000 a month, there's a level of efficiency that goes on where all of a sudden things start to click.
Okay.
Then you move up again, and you move up to the next level, which is a $50,000. Then it goes to 75, then 100. So you go 25, 50, 75, 100. Those are kind of the right. And I want you to hear this: 1% of businesses in America make it over $1 million a year.
Wow.
Only 1%. And you want to hear another crazy
All
stat?
businesses?
All businesses. Only 1% of businesses in America make it over $1 million. And check this out, female business owners. Only 1% of those 1% are owned by women.
Wow.
So in the salon spa space, if you're a female salon owner and you do over $1 million, and you're female and you do over $1 million and you own a salon, like, you are in the 1% of the 1%. Like, that's crazy.
Go
right?
women.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And we have tons of those in our academy.
That's
that's the
amazing.
idea. It's the 1% of the 1%. And so anyway, top 3%, they understand the efficiencies. They've gotten into a place where it can really grow. Otherwise, like, before 25,000, before 50,000, you're really not, you're struggling a lot. You're on the struggle bus. You know what I mean? You're trying to figure it out.
One thing that I love that you said is, like, when you were at the ski resort back there, you said that you went and asked somebody who did it. And that's what I love about our academy, is that we have so many other people on different levels.
Oh, yeah.
And so the ones that are maybe smaller salons can ask the bigger salons, be like, hey, like, what did you do? How did you get there? And not only do we coach, but we also have a support system, which is cool. Anyway, I love that about what we do.
Yeah, it is a fun